video, I'll be looking at the benefits of eugenics and what happens when we don't employ forms of eugenics on a gene pool undergoing very little selective pressure. Eugenics reduces overall suffering, which brings us to the reason why we suffer or experience stress. The receptor responsible for the negative effects of stress is the kappa opioid receptor, which is sort of the opposite of the mu opioid receptor, which is the receptor heroin and morphine works on. So when does our brain release dynorphin, which binds to the kappa opioid receptor? When our brain believes it is in a situation that we are not properly adapted to. Our brain does this as a way to get ready for threats and prepare for stressful events. Suffering is caused by being in an environment or situation we believe we are not adapted to. Not attachment, not believing in Jesus. Happiness is found once your brain believes it is adapted to the current situation or environment. This brings us to eugenics. How does eugenics reduce suffering? Well, by selecting people that are well adapted to the environment to reproduce, their children will also have a better chance of being adapted to the environment. Chances are that people who aren't very fit to reproduce also produce offspring that aren't very fit to reproduce, and their entire life will be suffering. By reducing the number of people that are born who we know would suffer more than someone who is created by healthy parents. Eugenics also prevents genocides and wars. Wars and genocides are triggered when our gene pool both genetically and culturally becomes too mutated and needs to quell mutations. To do this, the group that is less mutated will start to exterminate the group that is more mutated as a way to reduce mutations in the gene pool. This sort of trigger is a superconscious event where the entire gene pool will all of a sudden feel like committing genocide or starting a war. Wars can be triggered by the same thing. For example, the Japanese invading China in the Second Sino-Japanese War. One final point to make is that eugenics everybody is already a eugenicist. People have preferences in their partners. That is eugenics. Good genes. In conclusion, eugenics is simply a mechanism to reduce suffering and improve the gene pool. If we don't implement eugenics, wars and genocides break out after enough time. Reduce suffering today. In all seriousness, eugenics is a way to end the mutation problem, as it is simply a sorting mechanism, throwing out bad genes and promoting good genes. It solves the mutation problem really well.